followed the likes of Dangote, like back to back. In short, I even moved to made sure that I intentionally started channeling my life to be like these people's own so that I can get the goal that I want. And that is when I made that decision, sir.
Amazing. That's so profound. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Stephen, at what point did you start living intentionally in either your personal life or your career? That's one decision you took that you remember, and what impact it had on you.
Yeah, I think for me, being intentional began during my service year. And that's why as core members, I think is a moment that would define, you know, our life, whether we want to go forward or want to go backward or want to remain stagnant. Be your own boss. That book is still in my library. I think I sent a picture of it to my friend in Lagos recently. So in that book, I saw a line in that book that says, if you want to be a friend to Warren Buffett, if you have not met Warren Buffett before, but you want to discuss with him, then you can discuss with him through his books. So I started reading books of, you know, I started noticing changes, even the way I talk, the kind of things I want to listen to. I was jilted by three different girls. And they said, you want to go to school, you don't have money, you understand? and that book also told me that if you want to go into any relationship, first of all, define what you want. Don't go into a relationship based on physical appearance. So I read a lot of books. And today, I will tell you that also impacted positively, you know, in my marriage and in every area of my life. So where am I going? The whole thing started during the service. And mind you, that was when you leave your parents, you leave everybody, and you are just on your own. And the only thing you could do, or you should do at that point, is to do things that will change, that will come about a paradigm shift in your life. Things that will change your perception, the way you see things, the way you address people, your soft skills. So that's the moment. Because as soon as you finish your 1 year NYSC, alert no longer drops. You understand? So you are facing the reality of life. And the only thing that will make you stand facing the reality of life is you, your personality, your attitude, your character. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Suliat would like to hear your own share of that.
Okay, so my first year working in Freedom Radio, then I was a student on finance, but my dad said to me, wherever you go, learn everything you have the opportunity to learn, irrespective of how it connects to your vision. And that was the day my life changed. Ladies and gentlemen, I've worked as a journalist, I've worked as a banker, I've worked as a marketer.
The glasses and everything. And that picture kept resonating in my head. So when I was done with school, I started searching for a banking job I didn't get. So I got an insurance job in an insurance company. I got the first insurance job. After like 6 months, my satisfaction was not there. I was not fulfilled. I got like a promotion on another insurance job. I was not satisfied. I just go to the work, but this thing keep coming through my head. So we keep moving and moving and moving. You know, how live we have it, we are like marketers, underwriters, and not the rest. So one day we're discussing. So one of the marketers now told us that Union Bank is employing anybody that is interested should send his CV. Oh my God, when I heard that, the thing clicked, and I gave him my CV. So when I gave him, after some time, I was invited. And I got a job. So I started working in the bank. When I started working in Union Bank, from there I moved. You know, we bankers, we don't really stay in one place. I moved to the next bank, of course. I moved to another bank. I now went back to the same Union Bank where I became a branch manager in Union Bank. While I was in Union Bank, I thought I have actually achieved my dream. So another idea started coming to my head that what is going on? These people, I see new banks started springing up in Nigeria. So I started making inquiries. I called a friend of mine. I said, well, no, is it not possible for us to have our own bank? Why should we be working in other banks? So we went to CBN Abuja. I flew to Abuja. And with my friend, we entered to CBN. They gave us all the list of what it takes for you to own a bank in Nigeria. That was a very long list. I said, wow, this is serious. Okay, no problem. So I was in Union Bank, like I said, but I've been working in big banks. So I told my friend, I think I need to leave this Union Bank and go to a smaller bank. So I resigned. I told my wife, I want to leave this Union Bank and I want to go to this bank. It's a new bank, not even up to 5 years in Nigeria. He said, why? I said, I want to go and learn how a bank starts. So I resigned as a branch manager where I have more than 30 guys under me. And I moved to my new bank where I started seeing how things were being developed from zero so that I will understand what it's all about. So the intention is, this is where I am going. And most of when I tell some people, they say we are crazy. And let me tell you, there are about 7 stages. We have gone through the first stage. We have gone through the second stage. If not because of Tinubu, we should have been completed with the third stage. But we are around it right now. So intention for me, this is what I saw when I was small. When I entered the system, I saw something different. And this is what I'm pursuing. And I know, of course, the way we are moving, I will definitely achieve it. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Okay, I'll go back to Simi. But before Simi answers this next question, there's something that was common amongst the answers. Do you notice that? Learning, books, learning, exposure. I want to learn from the grassroots because we have a lot of young people today who just want money to fall on their laps with going through this process of learning and schooling themselves. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Asimi, let me come to you. Now, we live in a world today where young people, because we are dealing with young people, they want to delve into get-rich-quick schemes. Now, you are in the Forex trading space. You are in the stock market space. And a lot of young people will say, oh, well, that's where we can go and risk our money there because they feel it's something that they can get quick returns. In this book that Ola Barnabas released, there's a place where he talks about a research that was done in Nigeria. At a point in time, the second most visited website was a betting platform. And they were churning in over $400,000 a day. A day. So these are monies of young people who just feel, let me just go and put 500 naira and predict matches and win 5 million tomorrow. So in this world where people want to go into such schemes, and I'm not saying I have a problem with betting, you can choose to do what you want, but what would you say are some of the misconceptions about Forex trading, about crypto, about stock markets that you want to address now so that these young people who have fears or who want to go into this place can learn from?
Thank you so much for that question. And I'll be quite plain here, right? The markets could be very, very volatile, and so as every other market. So I like to handle the business of Forex, stocks, commodity, as the same thing as any other business. So in a situation whereby you buy a camera, for instance now, and you start a photography business without any knowledge, what are the tendencies that you will thrive in that business? It is zero. So you need to have the prior knowledge on something before even diving into it. But what had happened is that because the market is without regulations, that's when I say market, I mean the Forex market, the stock market is without regulations. And they are not telling you that, oh, you have to have BSc to come on it. And it's just accessible out there. You would think that it's just a place to come and make money. It's a lie. So the Forex and the investing market is a market that you have to come and learn well. So sometimes, before you become a trader in a bank, you have to have an experience of up to like 15 years of experience with different accreditations, with different certificates before you become a trader that trades for the bank. So it is not something that you just come into to just put your money and then make money out of it. It doesn't work that way. So the first step, just like any other business, is to learn it. So we have people who learn how to trade. And even when they say they learn how to trade, it might not just be Forex, because everybody calls everything Forex. Crypto, Forex, Forex, Forex. commodity forex. Some people go to school and they learn just selling crystals, like just normal metals, like gold, platinum. They go to school to understand how to trade those markets. They spend years understanding those markets. And then you think you can just come into it in just hours and make money. It doesn't work that way. So I would say that just like any other business, when you're coming into a business that is highly volatile, you would come into that business with knowledge, knowing that you have to give some certain level of your time, maybe 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, before you become an expert in that field. And then you will start getting small returns. Because now a lot of people would think that, oh, Forex now, they are making like 1,000% and $1 million, you just made the money overnight. No, it doesn't work that way. And then one other thing I would like to say to top this whole thing up is that, for instance, if you say, this is Kano, right? And then we'll say, where's the most volatile place in Kano where theft happens? Where do people get duped the most, right? So you start thinking about the biggest markets in the States. Do you get it? So the tendency for you being robbed here is less than for you to be duped in the market space. Do you understand me? So let's say Farm Center, for instance, now. So let's say Farm Center, I'm not saying Farm Center has a lot of thieves, but I'm saying that in that market, if you go there, sometimes you could lose your phone and all that. But the tendency for you to lose your phone here is less than the tendency for you to lose your phone in the market. Now, the reason is because the market space attracts a lot of people. And because they know everybody is coming there to make money, some people too are coming there to take other people's money. So that is exactly what's happening in this space. The Forex market transacts over $8 trillion every single day. $8 trillion. So that money is also coming into some people's pockets, and some people are coming into that same market to steal. So that's the kind of market that this is. That's the Forex market, the stock, and the crypto market. So I think that if you're going to come into this space, if you're thinking about coming to this space, you know that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's that you have to learn, and learn the right way before you start making tiny returns and then growing from it. Thank you.
Amazing. Mr. Stephen, you've been in the HR industry for over a decade. You've co-run your own HR firm. You work with HR in the HR department of big global organizations. What would you say has been for you the most exciting change in the last 5 years in that industry, and how has it impacted your life and your work? Because change is rapid. We are always in a period or moment of change. So what is that change that you've experienced in the last 5 years in the HR space, and how it has impacted your work?
Okay, so maybe I will talk about the change I've experienced, right?
Yeah.
Because the industry, a lot, right, keep changing, and you just have to go by the trend. I think in the last 2 decades, what happens in the HR industry is what we call, or what I would describe as the pushing strategy. Like, okay, you want to recruit a software developer, you put the job out there, right? People apply, right? You interview them, they get a job, right? But a lot has changed within the space of 2 decades. And that pushing strategy has become a pulling strategy. Pulling in the sense that you don't need to advertise again. So all you need to do is to look for where to get that person. And that's why referral is becoming very, very important these days. So I can't remember the last time I posted a job out that, oh, I'm looking for, when we're chasing this man seated here, we never advertised the role, right? but we chased him for almost 2 months. And it took us a month to finish negotiation with him. He's a star boy. So you understand what I'm saying? So a lot has changed in that industry. And if you can't go by that trend, then it means you'll be stuck. So what I've decided, or what I've done, is to increase my networking skills, right? I attend a lot of events, and that's why I'm happy with this event taking place here, because you meet a lot of people, you network, you don't know where help, might be required. So I do a lot of tech, I attend a lot of tech events, I built my network skills. As a matter of fact, I'm currently recruiting for a vice president product. a lot of people have reached out to me from Flutter Waves that, oh, I want to, I've not even advertised, I've not even made noise, but they've been reaching out. You understand what I'm saying? So, and how do you network with these people? It's through, going to event programs like this. And I was relating or chatting with one of the core members. I was like, the best way to find me is either Twitter or LinkedIn. He said it's not, that he doesn't have Twitter account. I was like, you don't have LinkedIn account. I said, you don't have LinkedIn account? So, look, the world is changing. The era of, oh, you saw adverts and you applied and you get a job, is becoming eroded. And the best way to connect is to build your network skills. Try and find out. I've been to UK, I've been to a few countries out of Nigeria, but I tell you, I have a lot of people, there are a few countries that I can't reach out to somebody. Like, oh, I need somebody in this country. I won't get. And how did that happen? Networking. So, what I've enjoyed in the industry are things that what I just listed to. There are challenges. Gone are the days when you are looking for, you want to fill in a role, and you just go and recruit and you get the person. No. Talents, quality talents, the number of quality talents has dropped. They've really, really dropped. Okay. Today, someone will graduate from the university, you don't know where Control F is. You can't type, you can't semicolon S, you can't type on the laptop. So talents, the number, there are a lot, but the quality are not there. So the best thing to do is to build a network and find a way to connect yourself to those you need to fill in whatever role. Wow. So it has affected me in so many ways. I don't know
much, Mr. Stephen. Let me come to Suliat now. A lot of young people want to go into business. They are enterprising, they have the passion, they have the drive to go into entrepreneurship. But then they ask themselves, where are the opportunities? With technological advancements, with evolution in the tech space, they feel like they are not well suited for those opportunities, maybe because they lack the skill. But what would you say? How would you help these young people who are just starting out to help them spot those opportunities out there? And then what are some of the challenges that come with these opportunities and how they can be prepared for it? I don't know if you got my... How can they get the opportunities out there in the entrepreneurial space that can also help them compete on a global scale? What are some of the challenges in that space and how can they be prepared for those challenges?
That's quite a broad question, but I'll go by it this way. The first thing is, if you want to start an enterprise, you see, starting a business 10 years ago was about what you want to offer to the market. Starting a business today is about what the market needs that you can provide. So the first step is for you to find out what is the problem that exists and what is the solution that I can provide. That's the value. You can bring in if you bring in a bottle of water here and I do not need it, I'm not going to pay for it. So the first thing is you need to identify to pay for. That's one. Two, it's a mistake to think you can start business today and start earning from it today. Hell no. Most businesses that survive takes a nurturing moment of 5 to 10 years in reality. So, I know the economy is hard and livelihood is real, but sometimes it's better as you're starting your business, as you are gathering money to start the business, you're also setting a lifestyle that survives within your business. Your capital cannot be 500,000 and you're spending 100,000 every month. You're going to run down. So you need to first, you need to realize this is, I'm building a mansion. It's like you're building a house. It's when you save that you come back to site, right? Same thing with your business. You don't eat from it. You should be able to segregate yourself from that business. Then leverage incubation hubs. You may start some business, you may not need an office for the next 2 years. What are the incubation ecosystem in your community? Are there workspaces? Is this something you could do from home? Then you come to events like this to get clients, you pitch, you look for how to do it. And also, you have to discipline yourself. If it is 30,000 naira that your business can pay you, pay yourself that and see how you manage it. Yes, someone said, one of the speakers said, sometimes what pushes us is not our problem. It is the problem of others. It is a mistake for you not to have succeeded and think you want to pay back your parents. It's a mistake because in the end, you've not built the foundation. You want to put up a mansion. You are all going to collapse. So you need to take that time. Explain to them. There was a time when I started my startup in 2019. My salary was 30,000 naira that I paid myself for the first 1 year. And I told my mom, Mom, I'm out of paid job. My job then was over 200. Then the project ended. Mom, my salary is now 30K. What I can afford every month is now 5,000. But because I've been there when there is means, they should understand. Whether they understand or not, that's for another day. But I've told you my reality. Sometimes we have to be selfish. If you want to build an empire, at the beginning, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tricky. You have to be selfish. But trust me, keep moving. You'll get there. It's just a matter of time, commitment, and purpose-driven.
Thank you. I mean, that was a good place to clap, right? Thank you so much, Suliat. Mr. Peter, you are in the financial sector, investment. Now, these young people are asking, yes, we understand what Suliat just said. We can go to co-creation hubs and all that, but they need money. Some of them need money to start, even though we know that you don't always need money to start. But then some of them need this money to grow. How can these young people who are going into the entrepreneurial space attract these funding opportunities? Given that you are a guru in that sector. So how can they attract funding opportunities for themselves? And if there are other support they can get beyond funding, what kind of support can they get?
Yeah, thank you very much. A lot of time, some of my colleagues, because I normally review some of the requests from customers, you know, they want loan, you see business plan from young people, they will bring it to you that they want to start this business, they want to start that business and all the rest. It's actually fantastic. It's actually fantastic, it's good. You understand? But the banks doesn't finance starters. Nigerian banks doesn't finance starters. If you are a new business less than 3 years, the Nigerian bank is not going to finance you. No matter how beautiful your business plan is, no matter how wonderful that business plan is looking like, they will not finance you. So what the system is saying from the commercial side of it, which is the commercial bank in most cases, is that you need to go and start with your resources. You need to go and start with your energy. Put it in the business. Then by the time the bank comes, what the bank does is to augment working capital. We only augment what you have started. We cannot start it for you. We cannot carry the risk of your business and put it on our head. So you need to start and let us see where you are actually going. Because if we don't know where you are going, there's no way we can give you money. Actually, it might sound like a bad news, but that's just the reality. You understand? For young people who want to start business, who actually need money to start business, you walk into the bank with a very bold vision and whatever, and actually if you read it, it makes sense. You understand? But let me say something. In Africa, there's something that is not common, and we call it commonwealth. It's not common in Africa. If you have the knowledge, why do you have to bother about getting the finance? There are people that have the finance, and they can help you. If you have not found them, it's because you have not searched enough.
True, true.
If you have not found those people, you have not searched enough. And I'm going to give you a typical example. I told you, I said in my first submission, I wanted to start my own bank. In 2022, before Tinubu came in 2023, the capital requirement, which is the first step for you to start a bank in Nigeria, for a national bank, is 25 billion. I don't have 25 billion naira to start a bank. But I talked to one or two people that I want to start a bank. And the guy was laughing. What the hell are you talking about? I said, yes, you only take 25 billion to start a bank, national bank. You want to start a regional bank, 10. But me, I don't want to start regional. I want to start a national bank. He said, where will he get 25 billion? I said, I know you have the connection. Talk with people, let's see what can happen. Do you know, 2 people gave us in 2022, August, 25 billion. I don't even have 1 naira inside of that money. And when they gave, because I've been thinking, where will I get 25 billion naira and all that? Because I don't have that money. And we went to CBN, we responded to them, and they gave us the account number. We did an RTGS from Zenith Bank and did 25 billion to them. And the guy in CBN called me and said, this guy, you are already an owner of a bank. You understand? The rest step is just simple. So we went to the second step, to incorporation. We did all that. We got to the third step, because in business, there's challenge. We got to the third step, and that took us to 2023. Around early 2023, they asked us to hold on because there's some issues with CBN. And when this government came, we met, what's his name, the CBN governor now. He said we should hold on, that there's some embargo and all the rest. We cannot continue. So we held on, and they wrote, even before they made the national announcement, that a national bank is now 200 billion, and international bank is now 300 billion, 500 billion. So you see, so they wrote us and said, decide, do you have the balance of 175 billion? I said, hey, we don't have the balance of 175 right now, but we are going to get back to them. And you can see the challenges in business. So we have to return the money back to those guys, because we know that the approval in principle that we needed, we cannot get it because the government have changed ground, have shifted ground, and now we need 200 billion to start. So what I'm saying is that we have the knowledge. I'm a banker. I understand the tricks. I know people I'm going to bring on board. I know how to go about it. But the problem is that I don't have the money. So since I don't have the money, I have to go and meet people that have the money to help me. Yes. And those are the people that financed it. So this is how it actually works. So if you're a youth, a corper, you have an agric idea, there's somebody that have the money. He doesn't know how to use it. But you must convince him. You must show him that you are serious. Then the person can invest in you. If you have tech, whatever it is that you're coming up with, you must show to the person that you have the capacity. Let me land on this lastly. I called my children. I said, what do you want to become in future? This one said doctor. This one said this and that and that. I said, okay, I'm going to give you people 6 months. Go and think about it. They came back. The person that said doctor now said IT. I said, fine. No problem. I got laptop and whatever. And I got a phone I gave him. When I gave him the phone, I bought this parental lock. This lock that you give, you put on your kids. So I have the lock on my phone. So I now put the lock on his phone. So I was locking it. So there's a period I will lock the phone because I want to be sure whether he's serious. I will lock the phone. So there was this day I left. He said, he called, the mom called me. You did not open the phone today. I said, And I remember I was traveling to Abuja. I said, he has to wait for me to come back home. And if there's anything he can do to open it, no problem. But I've already passworded it. Then like 2 days after, my wife called me and said, this boy don't break this thing, as in he has unlocked it.
Wow.
I was very happy. I screamed on the phone. I said, what is the meaning of this? Why will he do that? This is not integrity. But I was just lying to myself. I actually want him to find the solution. So if where you are going, it is blocked. If somebody tell me he's learning IT, there are things that you need to prove to me. So he proved to me that he wants to learn it. So if you have the idea, you have the knowledge, look for the money, not necessarily from the bank. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Amazing. Oh, goodness. I wish we could just stop time. But before you go, I just want to, I have so many questions to ask, but we don't have time. The MC is already here. But let me start from you, Mr. Peter. In 30 seconds, what's that one most important message you want these young people to take from this panel discussion, talking about intentional living, youth enterprise, creativity, and future of work? What's that one message you want them to take? In 30 seconds?
Require you to be very focused. If you don't know where you are going, you'll be very, very confused.
Thank you.
But if you know where you are going, be focused, and we are going to meet at the top.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Suliat, what's your own one message you want them to take? Thank you.
It's just a rider to what he said. The dynamism of Nigeria can always bring confusion to you every day. But remember who you want to be. And you have to leverage these changing dimensions that are coming. Are you an English graduate? What can the trend do, make you do better? Are you a graduate of geography? What can the trend make you do better? Be focused, but then be functional as you facilitate your focus. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Suliat.
So I think everything has to do with focus, self-discovery, discovering yourself, know what you want to do, and what makes you happy. I will borrow that off from Mr. Peter, and I think Simi also mentioned people going into investment, and it's good to go into investment. But the first thing I want to say about that is that you don't just jump into investment that are of high risk, right? Your phone is 190. I don't know when you Mercedes 190. My dad said, why are you buying cars? Why did you invest your money? And that was when the whole thing about investment dawned on me. I started going